I've always been a huge advocate of quitting your job and starting your own business or side hustle. But there are times where starting a side hustle can actually be more of a side flop than a side hustle. And today we are going to cover exactly that. I'm going to share with you 5 things I wish I knew before starting my first business, so that you do and make the same mistakes that I did. If you don't know me, I'm here. I am an award-winning mental health physiotherapist, and I help people build businesses that help people. If that sounds like you, make sure to subscribe because I release a new video every single week. Let's get straight into it. Lesson No. 1. Starting a business does not mean freedom. I was under the impression that if I start a business, then I can set my own hours. I'll be my own boss. I will have flexibility and freedom to travel. But in reality, starting a business means you are creating more work for yourself. It just looks different. When I decided to leave my full-time job to focus on my business full-time, I had this image in my head that I'm going to have all this free time now, but I'm going to work smarter, not harder. But I quickly realized that running a business is basically like having 2 full-time jobs. One is the business operations, and then the other is all the admin work. The biggest thing for me was actually having less freedom, not more freedom. For the first time ever, I was really accountable to somebody. I was accountable to myself. And I think that one of the hardest things about being a business owner is making sure that you holding yourself accountable and keeping yourself in check, because at the end of the day, it's your reputation on the line. It's your business that you're running. So if something goes wrong, who are you going to blame? You can't blame your boss. You can't blame anybody else. You have no one else to blame but yourself. That is definitely one of the biggest adjustments I had to make when I went from employee to employer. Lesson No. 2. Money in, money out. When I was working a 9-to-5 job, I used to think that my salary was mine to spend. And once I started making money in my business, I also thought that that was my money to spend. What I didn't realize was that that money actually belonged to the business. So whatever money I was making in the business needed to go towards growing the business. This is the biggest reason why most small businesses fail. They take money out of the business, but they never put money back into the business. You need to remember that whatever money is coming in needs to go back out. Some of it needs to go back out into marketing, advertising, paying staff, products, services, whatever you need to do to keep the business running. But most of the money is not yours to spend. In fact, I would say none of it is actually yours to spend. It's the business's money to spend. And so you need to make sure that you're putting money aside for taxes. You're resetting aside money for any kind of upgrades or changes that you want to make to the business. And that was something that I did not understand at all when I started my business. It actually took me a couple of years to learn, so hopefully you learn it a lot faster than me. Lesson No. 3. It takes time to make money. When I started my online business, I thought that I could make money right away. But in reality, it takes a lot of time to make money. In fact, I wouldn't even call it making money. It's more so that you're building assets that will make you money in the future. That might sound a bit confusing, but let me give you an example. When I started my business, I spent a lot of time creating content. I created a ton of content in the beginning. I wasn't making any money off that content, but I thought that by creating all this content, I was building trust and authority in my space, which meant that eventually I would be able to monetize that and make money off that. And I finally got to a point where I was able to monetize that content, and I've been able to run ads on those videos and make money off those videos. But it took a long time to get to that point. And honestly, I probably could have made more money if I focused on monetizing earlier on. But instead, I focused on providing value to the community, and that's totally fine. Like that S, what I wanted to do. But I just wanted to let you know that it takes a lot of time to make money. It's not like you post one Instagram post, or start one YouTube channel, and suddenly you be making thousands of dollars overnight. It just doesn't work like that. It takes time to make money. Lesson no. 4. Wearing too many hats. When I first started my business, I thought I had to wear every hat. I thought I had to be the face of the business, the marketer, the advertiser, the accountant, the customer service rep, had to be everything. And while I'm a very hands-on person, I realized very quickly that I couldn't do everything myself. In fact, it's one of the biggest reasons why my business failed. I tried to do everything myself, and I ended up failing at everything. What I should have done was hired people to help me out. I should have outsourced the things that I am not good at, so that I could focus on the things that I am good at. The truth is, you cannot do it all yourself. You don't have enough time. You don't have enough energy. And at the end of the day, you're only human. So make sure that you hire people to help you out. Don't try to do everything yourself. Lesson no. 5. Failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is actually part of success. All successful people have failed multiple times before they got to where they are now. And it's important to remember that failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is actually part of success. It's important to view failure as a stepping stone to success, not as a setback. It's okay to fail. It's okay to make mistakes, as long as you learn from them and move forward. At the end of the day, I'm really glad that I started my business, even though it didn't work out. I gained so much experience. I learned so much about myself, and I became a better entrepreneur because of it. So it was totally worth it. So yes, failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is actually part of success. That's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.